Good morning, Web Summit. How you guys doing this morning? Let's hear it. We heard the, bring it up, bring it up. Let's hear, how you guys doing? Woo, yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome this morning. You're at pitch stage 1, and you are actually in for a treat because we're gonna let these startups battle each other. So if you don't know what pitch is, this is a competition on stage among these startups to pitch their business in front of this esteemed panel of judges. And the opportunity here is fantastic because they're able to tell you what they're doing and they'll share with the judges what they're doing. Now, these judges come from investor, media, partner, and speaker attendees. And they will give a score. And before we're done for this hour, we're going to know who wins this pitch battle. So there are 7 startups in this first group. Now, these startups also come from a cross-section of the best of what Web Summit has to offer. And these guys were chosen specifically because they have something interesting and great about their companies that we want to share with the rest of the world. So before we get started, let's welcome our judges. We have Janet Bannister from Real Ventures. We have Peter Himmler from Flatiron Communications. We've got Jonas Wenke from Commerce Ventures. And these guys are now going to be able to have the opportunity to give feedback to these startups. Now, the way it works is this. These guys, and no pressure, 180 seconds, 3 minutes to pitch their business to these guys, and they have 3 minutes for Q&A on the other side. No pressure on anybody could do that. That's going to be a cakewalk. Well, this is a great thing because these guys are now going to battle it out for that ultimate title of pitch champion. So why don't we just get it started? You guys ready? All right, we're going to welcome to the stage our first pitcher. This is Michael. Michael, you ready to go? Hyber.
Thank you very much.
Sorry? That's my mic.
Oh.
That's your mic.
Okay, great. All right. Video, music, photo, journalism. So the internet has democratized access to creation distribution tools that are allowing users to express themselves. But still, if someone would get money into creating their own video game, this is actually what it looks like. But soon, this will be a thing of the past. Hello, my name is Michael Yngfors. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Hyber. We're here to democratize the creation and distribution of games. So we want to empower users to create their own video games without the need to code. And the vision for the company is to become the largest platform for user-created games, almost like a YouTube for games. So how does it work? Well, with the drag-and-drop type interface, users can easily create their own 3D world. They can later gamify with the help of predefined game logic. And turn into real games, just like this one. And when they're happy with the game, well, then just publish it to our portal, where they can share it with the rest of the world. So Hyber will be free to use, but virtual items like skins will be available for purchase. And the revenue from these will be shared with the creators on the platform. So Hyber is a cross-platform experience. It's browser-based, it's very accessible, and it's also easy to share. And to help users create really engaging games, we're going to be using machine learning to train Hyber to make it smarter and smarter. So the company was founded in March last year. We got accepted by Sweden's largest game incubator. We got a 50,000 euro grant and a seal of excellence from the Horizon 2020 program. We've finished our world creation functionality, and we're now in alpha with our game creation functionality, which we hope to roll out in the beginning of next year and start building a user base. So we've got a really strong team behind Hyber. We've got over 20 years experience within video games and the creative industry. I have a background in PlayStation and praised ad agency Forsman Bodefors. Started my first company while in university. My co-founder Matthias also has a very long experience within the digital creative industry. I've become technical director at Digitas and Framfab. We have a very, very talented team of developers and UX designers. And we have an advisor as a veteran with the video games industry, background at EA and Xbox, and also been previous advisor to Mojang, which is the founder of the company behind Minecraft. So the video games industry is actually the biggest segment within the entertainment industry, many times larger than that of online video and music. And it's games and platforms like Hybrid that's free to use, allows for sort of self-expression, personal interaction, and sharing that has gone on to be the biggest games, the biggest successes within the games industry. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael. Michael with Hyber. So judges, you've got 3 minutes for Q&A. Before we get started, let's give you the rules really quickly. You guys are judging based on business, based on team, based on the potential to disrupt, based on the and the quality of the pitch that you just saw. So go ahead and ask your questions to Michael.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great pitch. I am wondering, why has this not been done before? Has it been done before? If not, what is the unique insight that you had that is enabling you to do this for the first time?
That's a great question. I think one of the reasons is because the technology is now just allowing this to be done. There are some other examples of sort of great creative platforms out there, but I think now is actually the time where the technology can allow us to do this.
So we know about user-generated content that's been around for a while. Now it's user-generated games. How are you incentivizing those to use your platform? I mean, so let's say they make a game. What's in it for them? Will you give them will you distribute and allow them to monetize that, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly. As I mentioned briefly in the pitch, one of the real incentives, apart from actually being able to share what you've created with the rest of the world, is that you can actually make money from your creation. So if you create a game, other users will be able to purchase in-game things in your game, and you can actually make money for it.
How are you going to make sure that your platform remains relevant to the people that visit your website? Like, if many people create games and they're of lower quality, but there are some that are standing out, how are you going to be able to find that?
Well, there's always going to be sort of a variation of quality of the games, but I think the best way to do that is what we talked about just before with the incentive of making money. There'll be so many content creators out there that'll be willing to create outstanding games because that's the way to drive traffic to them and to make money from them. So that's how we plan to solve that.
Can you talk a little bit about your go-to-market and how you're going to get initial traction and that initial user base? And I'm also interested in sort of the unit economics given, I mean, I'm sure, are you sort of, the revenue you're expecting from each user relative to the cost it's going to cost? Because I would see one problem is it may cost quite a bit to get those initial users, and the revenue that you derive may not cover that.
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, we've already, even though we're not sort of fully launched yet, we've established a relationship with the influencer community, and we find that, well, a lot of companies want to work with influencers these days, but we found that when we've reached out to them that they just love a platform like ours because that's a way for them to really engage with their user base, their fans. So we have some of these relationships lined up, and they're just loving to start using our platform to get engagement with their audience.
Real quick, you're not the only do-it-yourself gaming company. How's the competitive landscape? Real quick.
Well, there's others though. There's this big one called Roblox. To do that, you have to be a coder. Basically, you have to do scripting. There's other ones that are using native apps, and ours are web-based. So I mean, there's others out there, but we have a combination that really allows our platform to be used by everyone and to share the content with everyone. So that's what makes us unique.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, judges. We're going to keep this going and bring up Luca from Customerly. You have the stage.
Thank you. Ready? Hi guys, today I want to introduce you Customerly. But before digging into the product, I want to share with you why we built it in the very first place. So as a software as a service previous owner, we had three main problems. So gathering customers' feedback was really slow, and responses were not related to the users. At the same time, building trust and human relationship, it's difficult when you run an online business. And third, automate messages and triggered by the customer's behavior is painful and requires a lot of time. So that's why we built Customerly, an easy solution to integrate with every website and platform, where you can start collect user data automatically. And once you collect this data, you can create as many segments as you want based on your condition. And with this segment, you can start automate and deliver targeted messages and gather user feedback. And at the same time, you can improve your customer service by knowing better your customer details. The competition landscape is quite wide because we cover 4 different areas like customer service, automation, user feedback, and email marketing. But we put customer in the middle because we believe that all these services should be in just one place. And the market at the moment of the software as a services is $73 billion, and in just 3 years will be $170 billion. So what we did so far, we built a scalable working product used every day by 3,000 users all around the world. And we serve 1 million people daily. How we did it? We built a user data centralized software that help businesses to take the full control of the customer life cycle. Our mission is help and inspire at least 1 billion people. And our team is focused on reaching this goal. We are 3 founders with software as a service previous experience, like 6 years now, 2 developers, mobile developers, and 1 head of business development. And thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. What question do you have for me?
Thanks, that was a very interesting pitch. Can you tell us a bit more who your key client is going to be, what segment you're focusing on, and how you're pricing your product?
Basically, thank you for your question. Basically, our main target or main fit is a software as a service because they can explore every feature. They can really use and benefit from every feature we did because we built it as a software as a service owners. So that's our main target. And we charge, of course, monthly. And our average price is 60 euros, 68 euros per month. It starts from that price.
Okay, I saw on your competitive slide you had Customerly in the middle and then all those other players,
Yep.
such as Zendesk, etc.
Yep.
Do you foresee sitting on top of all of that existing software or replacing it?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, we need to integrate different services, and that's why we think that it's a mixture of all of them, basically.
So just to clarify, so if you think about targeting your customer, if they're using Zendesk and all the other sort of services, do you think they're going to stop using those?
Yeah, actually, we are reaching customers from Intercom or Zendesk as well. Yeah.
It seems, I mean, clearly there's fertile ground for this kind of service, but it seems to me the Salesforces of the world are already into CRM, and you've got a pretty big competitive.
Yeah, I know that.
And so, what are you doing to differentiate and to market yourselves? How are you getting the word out about Customerly, another LY word?
Good question. At the moment, we are switching people from Intercom that they are loving our email template builder.
You're reaching them how? I'm sorry?
Switching from Intercom, and they are loving the email marketing template builder, for example, the automation funnel, and the survey as well. So they love the way we connect all these things all together.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you attended Web Summit. Right.
I'll ask another question. Okay, just going back to the competitive landscape. So, can you help me understand? I mean, take an example like Zendesk, that has amazing functionality, amazing team, and you're coming. I mean, amazing team that's continuing to develop the product. How can you compete with them? I mean, it seems that you're basically saying, hey, we're going to compete with we're a startup and we're going to compete with the best of breed in all these different specialized verticals.
Okay. At the moment, we are so competitive with the pricing as well, because a lot of small businesses, as we were like years ago, we cannot afford the kind of pricing, okay? So mostly we have so much different features that they are loving it, and at the moment we are competing on the price as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Luca. Let's keep this going. Vadim from Propertunity.
Hello, test, good. Hello, everyone. Oh, too loud. I'm Vadim, and at Propertunity, we're turning generation rent into generation. We forecast house prices and have built a fully regulated lending bank in under 1 year. You might ask why. As of today, there are 250,000 fewer first home buyers in the UK alone per year compared to the 2000s. This compounding problem is the main cause that has led to generation rent. The main reason behind this is that mortgage lenders want big deposits. It's not that they're greedy, but they need to protect themselves against two fundamental risks. The first one is the buyer defaulting on their loan, and the second is the unpredictable value of the underlying asset, the home. Lenders are pretty good at analyzing the former, as they spent decades credit scoring borrowers. However, they do absolutely nothing at understanding the second. At Propertunity, we do both. And it turns out that with accurate forecasting, you don't need big deposits. In the new world, the buyer can come with only 5% of the purchase price. The lender continues to lend at its sweet spot of 80%, and Propertunity closes the gap, taking 15% of the risk and 15% of the reward. So what does this mean for one of the 250,000 denied buyers? Meet Rob. Rob is a software engineer in London. He earns 60,000 and has saved 17,000 pounds. For Rob, Propertunity is faster, bigger, cheaper. Faster. The average age of a first-time buyer is 35. Rob is 25. Bigger. Rob can only afford a £250,000 home. With Propertunity, he can afford 330,000, taking him from the bottom of the barrel to homes Rob loves. Cheaper. Normally, Rob would pay £1,250 per month for the smaller home. With Propertunity, he only pays £990 per month. Faster, bigger, cheaper. It sounds a bit too good to be true, but I'm happy to announce that Rob and his Propertunity home are very real, and so are another 450 customers that have already signed up. How can we build this? It all boils down to the deep functional expertise of our team in both lending, where we have 65 years of mortgage experience, including the former head of top Irish banks, and forecasting, where our strong engineering team has multiple PhDs, created a machine learning hedge fund, and discovered 2 planets. We've won numerous awards and have been part of Google's machine learning incubator, but what matters most is what we do next. We're lending £1 billion by 2021. Join the revolution.
Great pitch, Vadim.
Yeah,
Judges?
Nice
It's
job.
yours.
I live in New York City,
Yeah.
and we've got about 100,000 new apartments coming online, brand new. And so I don't know who has a crystal ball that can predict how the housing market is going to go. But you're predicating your model on it continuing to be robust. And let's say the housing market is not all that healthy and it does not go north, it goes south. Aren't you at risk, I guess is my question. The second part of your premise, yeah.
Of course we are. And it's funny you mentioned New York, as actually this business started because of a house in Newark, New Jersey. My wife was trying to buy there, and fundamentally we found a house that we bought for $500,000, and 8 months later we got an unsolicited offer for $800,000. And it was obvious, Whole Foods was opening up, a lot of construction was happening in Newark, and they were rejuvenating the schools. Fundamentally, you're always at risk, but it's about how do you price it and understand it better. We're based in London, in the UK, and we've raised £5 million from investors to do this, and it took a lot of data and convincing to show them that they're not going down with Brexit. And the way we see it is we're about 90 to 95% accurate at forecasting the top 10% of neighborhoods. We're very granular with that forecasting. And therefore, historically, we've analyzed a lot 2008, and you can see the buffer between the best areas and the median. So yes, in a crisis, the median goes down, but if you're in the best areas, you create sufficient buffer to still stay afloat.
So you're only going to lend to those in the best areas?
No. The best areas and prices going up. So like basically, first-time buyers can only afford to buy on the outskirts, which is called gentrifying areas. But not all of them are gentrifying. So what we do is we figure out which of the ones have a higher potential. And if someone's trying to buy a house that has a higher potential, we'll lower the cost of their mortgage and co-invest with them. Because it's not fair to not buy it.
Can you talk about what data sources you're using?
Sure. So we have access to all real estate transactions in the UK since 1995 by postcode, address, price, and then we've compiled that with an extra about 50 indicators about the property, ranging from floor height, surface area, energy efficiency, facing of the apartment, and about 150 indicators about the microeconomics of each neighborhood, from demographic, transportation, school, businesses, unemployment, disposable income, etc.
Thank you.
Just from my understanding, you're handing out a loan, right? An additional 15% loan?
Yeah, so it's an equity loan, interest only.
Loan. And that's fine for the bank that says...
Yeah, we've partnered with one of the top 3 mortgage lenders in the UK and one of the top 10. And when I say partner, as in they lend alongside us, they accept our loans and it's fine. What's the timeline of your loan? It mimics the main mortgage, so it doesn't put extra pressure on the borrower, and it's fixed for the first 5 years, the interest rates. So again, they know what they're getting. It's not a surprise.
Okay, thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Vadim. Let's keep it going. We've got Phil from Deep Data Analytics.
Hi, I'm Phil from Deep Data Analytics. We're based in Munich, Germany. And today I want to talk to you about 21 zeros of information. Because by 2025, the global data sphere is expected to reach up to 180 zettabytes. That's 21 zeros before the decimal. 80% of that data is expected to be unstructured, cannot be analyzed with traditional methods. For example, 111 billion consumer mails are sent out each day in 2018. 500 million tweets are tweeted each and every day. And Facebook consists of 2.5 trillion posts in total right now. 180 zettabytes of information, including what your customers are thinking, what they are feeling, and why are they feeling that way about you, your products, and your services. We at Deep Data Analytics use deep neural nets to analyze this unstructured data and find hidden patterns in the data and gain actionable insights out of it. We're source agnostic. We take whatever you have. We take CRM data, email data, social media data, you name it, feed it into our neural nets and extract the information about what people are talking about, why they are talking about it, if they're satisfied or not. That's serious business. Advanced analytics organizations are expected to have a productivity gain around about $430 billion by 2020. That's pretty much next year, end of 2018 right now. And the whole AI market is predicted to reach 400 billion by 2025. Of course, there are a couple of competitors we have. Some take your CRM data, some take your social media data, some give you a platform and let you figure it out for yourself. We do all that for you. Take your data, analyze it for you, and give you actionable insights. we, Deep Data, have a couple of MVPs out there right now. We did analysis, rolling analysis for one of Europe's premier media outlets. Did a case study for German television on social media fraud based on unstructured data, and do content classification for an international law firm right now. Deep Data Analytics is me, responsible for all the data stuff, and my co-founder Elliot, who runs the business operations. Got a great advisory board, still growing it. Matthew Finlay, founder of Rising Media Inc., and none other than Jim Stern, founding president of the Digital Analytics Association, hard word, in the US. Yeah, 21 zeros of information about you, your products and services. We uncover hidden pattern in the unstructured data about you. Thank you.
All right, judges, what do you have for Phil?
Creepy.
Why that?
Well, no, obviously a lot of people are focused on data privacy. I'm curious to know how much is automated and how much human intervention, and when will you sell to Facebook so they can clean up their act?
That's a good question. Actually, GDPR helped us a lot because all the platforms now have to have some kind of service that you can export all your data, what was pretty hard beforehand on Facebook. So now you can do it and hand it over to us. The analysis and the pre-processing of the data is fully automated.
Can you talk a little bit about how you are intending to, what use cases you're intending to really focus on when you go to market? Like you gave 3 use cases, but it's unclear to me, are you really going after the media sector, or what is your prime target?
Right now, to be plain honest, we're pretty early stage, founded beginning this year. We don't have it clear what our prime market is because we're pretty agnostic. Our networks work with every data source you have as long as it's unstructured text. So we can focus on media, we can focus on law, on medical even. So
And what is your plan to figure out where to focus?
that's a good question. The one who gives us the most money. No, don't know it.
On a high level, it's very clear what you're doing, but can you give an example of what type of analysis you're delivering to the startups or your companies? And
Yeah, sure. For example, the media outlet we do rolling analysis for, they own a couple of TV channels. And when they're screening a new TV show, Twitter most of the time goes wild, and they got near real-time analytics of how the show or the concept they're screening is perceived and what to do better, what people are complaining about, what they like, and they use that to iterate over their products.
so it's mainly a sentiment analysis that you're delivering.
In that case, it's most of the time sentiment analysis, but even if they like different or distinct features in the shows or in the products.
Okay, and then are you delivering the platform as a SaaS platform,
Yeah.
or is it? Yeah. Okay, and what do you think about pricing?
Pricing now, right now we calculate based on data volume that is analyzed, and I think that's pretty solid for now.
I mean, there are no shortage of those that are monitoring data for sentiment analysis, et cetera. I mean, you're entering a pretty competitive landscape. I mean, I know the Crimson Hexagon. I'm very close friends with Conversion. So are you worried that you can break out, or?
No, not really. I think we, as far as I know, we own one of the biggest curated German language sets as corpora for supervised learning. So at least for the German market and actually for the English market too, I'm pretty confident that we're doing good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Phil. Okay. Great companies we're seeing today. Now we'll welcome Vladislav from TourUp.
Hello, everybody. So TourUp is an on-demand tour builder and tour guide platform built with cultural immersion and flexibility at its core. TourUp consists of 3 platforms seamlessly working together to provide the best user experience. Our tourist application provides a front end for our users to select their itineraries and post it to the marketplace, while our tour guide application makes sure that our service providers get the best features possible to them to give tours. On top of all that is an exploration platform that makes sure all of our cities that we operate in stay up to date with all the location, seasonal, and offer data. So how does the industry look right now? Pretty much top key players tell you the itinerary, and we're here to change that. The global activities and tours market is estimated at about $153 billion annually and is projected to reach $180 billion by 2020. So some of the use cases where you can use TourUp is on a full day tour. You can start from the morning and go all the way until the end of the night. You can do pretty much anything from activities to restaurants to nightclubs. Or you can fancy just an evening. Pick some locations and then go on a shopping spree, and then just pick another cafe or restaurant. You can also do that. Some of the convenient features we've built into TourUp include Detour Your Day, where you can add, remove, or swap any activity during your tour and then have your tour guide be notified of your change. Tired and want to end the tour early? No problem. With TourUp you can. End the tour at any given point of time and only pay for what you've used thus far. No extra hidden charges. Also, if you want to leave your tour guide behind and share an intimate moment with your loved one or families, with TourUp you also can. Some of the features also we've built into TourUp include a ability to split your fare with other tourists and the ability to optimize your travel bag for distance, which will also reduce your cost. This is a value curve that pretty much represents how TourUp is more flexible than all of the other key players in this industry. Our tour guide platform is also built with convenient features. Our tour guides can pretty much set their online status at any time, pick a mode of transportation, and pick all of the locations that they're experts in and only tour those locations. At the top of all that, they can select their own rates based on an algorithm that splits the rates at an activity, idle, and transport rate. The exploration platform is an in-house platform built by us to make sure that all of the content on our platform is up to date and then generate any promotional content with our partners as well. These are some of the key start advantages. Me and my co-founder are split into 2 continents. We're also GDPR compliant, and we're in teaming talks with tour guide unions back in Bulgaria. Our revenue model also takes 10% cut of platform fee out of every single tour. Thank you.
Thank you, Vladislav.
Okay.
Janet.
Thank you very much. First question is, it sounds basically what you are doing is you're creating a marketplace for tourists and tour operators. Can you talk about, the typical, the classic challenge with a two-sided marketplace is the chicken and the egg problem, and how you're going to solve that?
Yeah, so technically we are creating a marketplace. It's more of an in real-time marketplace where tourists can pretty much build whatever they want and then put it out there and then see if any tour guides can answer that by giving a price and an estimate, of how much time it will take. So what we pretty much are trying to do is we're going to vet all of our tour guides and then give them a platform where they can market their services, and provide another platform for tours where they can pretty much put whatever they want out there and then connect the both through our platform.
And can you talk about how are you going to get those, reach both the tourists and the tour guides and build the critical mass so that both sides can find, so basically how are you going to build liquidity so that both sides can find what they're looking for?
Sure. So initially what we started, we hit some channels for tour guides that included young people within universities from social sciences, history sciences, all of the above. And then we've hit also the unions, tour guide unions that have expressed interest in a certain service, because most tour guide unions, most tour guides in general work with tour companies at only a specific time, so they don't really have a platform where they can individually, independently market their services, and this is something that they've been interested in. In terms of tourists, pretty much anybody that wants to not be locked into a specific itinerary and wants to just do something on the go and then stop it at any time would benefit from a platform like this.
Have you tested this idea with clients in the marketplace?
Yes, so we have been in beta in LA and in London, and we have tested it out continuously, and we are going to launch it at the end of this month. Both platforms.
You're going city by city then?
Yeah, so me and my co-founder are based in LA and Los Angeles and London, so we are going to simultaneously launch both cities.
And you said you're vetting your guides. Are you personally vetting them?
So we're doing a couple of stages of vetting. So we're doing the basic background checks, and we're doing tour guide expertise checks. We are doing personally at our offices. So we're making sure that the tour guides basically know a little bit, or at least something about the locations that they've selected that they're experts in.
So I saw that you listed a few of those that are in the space already, TripAdvisor and et cetera. So are there others that are trying to tackle the same issue, matching tour guides with tourists and,
Yeah, absolutely. So there are other competitors out there, like Zeno, but what they do is they basically match local tour guides, and the local tour guides make the itinerary themselves. What tour pretty much is the tourist makes the itinerary themselves. They pick the locations they want to see, and then the tour guide has to match that with a price.
And tourists, you feel, will want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, but I mean, on that, that's a pretty minor change to make to the existing players. So one of the things I'm wondering is, hey, if you start to get traction, why can't the existing players simply change that? Or why can't a TripAdvisor launch this tomorrow and compete with you?
They absolutely can, but what differentiates Tour from all of the other competitive landscape is the algorithm, the pricing algorithm that I mentioned with the activity, item, and price. So it gives you the best price, and it pretty much makes the it's twice as cheap as the competition. Sorry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Tour Up and Vladislav. Thank you, judges. We have one more competitor for this competition. We got Paul from Vlipsly.
Hola, my name is Paul Gray. I'm from Vlipsy. We are a video clip discovery and sharing platform. I'm talking specifically about micro moments of video content, funny quotes, inspiring scenes, epic moments from your favorite TV shows, movies, sports, video games, award shows, and internet culture. I'm pretty confident that everyone here is going to send at least one emoji, sticker, or GIF in the next few days. Some of you probably send 10, some will send hundreds. Sending visual content is a very fun, natural, fluid way to express yourself. People love to do it. But it's actually really hard to share video moments. Now remember, I'm not talking about 15-minute YouTube videos where you have to watch a pre-roll ad and sift through until you get that moment you want. I'm talking about that show me the money quote from Jerry Maguire that you just want to send into a conversation really quickly and really easily. It's not easy to do that. Until now, what Vlipsy has been building is a search engine specifically for micro moments of video content. We transform written text, like an expression or a query, into a relevant piece of video content that people will find and they want to then share into their conversation. We've built a set of tools, APIs, extensions that allow this to work easily anywhere. We already reach large audiences. We've built native integrations with mega messaging apps Viber and Skype, so any user in those apps can just tap a button, find a Vlip, and send it instantly. But a Vlip is simply an MP4 video file, so it works anywhere that supports those, which is pretty much any messaging, social, and chat app. We've been working in this space for a long time, and we started this and had a pretty cautious but optimistic expectation for growth as people started using it. But we're surpassing that. People are really taking to it, and it's just so easy and familiar that once they find these Vlips, they start sending them, and it's fun. And that's through our integrations that we've been working on. So we've got some big ones here, and if anyone's working on an app or service, I'd love to chat to you about that. What's the business model? How's this going to work? Remember, it's a search platform. So just like any search platform has organic results, it also has sponsored results. We know who people are, what they're searching for, what they're looking for, and it's our job to make sure that we give them the most relevant content. So if someone's feeling a bit like they need some caffeine and they need some energy and they search for coffee, well, lo and behold, there could be a Starbucks Vlip right there. And if we can tie that in with the data and insights that we have through our partners, there's a lot more opportunities to bring that into the graph and send them other information and resources. It's a competitive landscape. Visual expression is popular, it's growing. We see two sort of distinctions. One is the type of content, so GIFs is a big thing, but also live video. We're very much focused on curated video. We've been in this space for a long time, working at big companies like Disney, as well as fast social apps like Kik and Yik Yak. We have Roadmap, we have Traction, we have the team, we have Vlipsy, a discovery platform for video clips. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. My first question is, you mentioned, you mentioned 3.5 million users. Can you talk about the engagement of those users?
Yep.
Usage, things like that?
Sure, so that number refers to users that have sent a Vlip. So the number that have received it is much larger because it goes into at least one other person or into a chat or into something like Twitter. So yeah, we look mainly at the numbers of shares, but it's also important to see who's viewing that. So we can see that, and we can then report back to the platform or the content partner who's viewing your content and where and so on.
Sorry, what I meant is when a user signs up, what's their repeat rate? How many times are they coming back per month or per week or per day?
It depends by the platform integration. I'd say on average it's about 4 VLIPs sent per month.
So I saw Ben Popkins on your board. He's a great guy, so I know him. So your search engine to find video. So are you using Google or so how big is the universe of? I mean, I know there's a lot of video online on the internet, but do you have access to all of it? And are there any licensing issues and that kind of thing? So.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the challenges, that video is very fragmented and there's lots of walled gardens that try to keep it that way. So what we've been doing now is partly having a user-generated library of video be created that we index and categorize in ways that we can then make sure we serve the right content out. So that's sort of our library of content, which is ever growing. And we're starting to work with content creators, like we work with Mars M&Ms, they have M&Ms content in there, we work with Cartoon Hangover on TV shows, and that's going to grow, so we can work directly with them, but we're also looking at how do we plug into other repositories of video content.
So the content that you give access to is finite. It's a set, it's not everything, all video on the internet. I mean,
no, and I think that would be tough to get all, but, and it's also, there's a lot of duplicated content in these types of services, so we're very keen to make sure that we're not just adding necessary duplication. We'd rather have a much finer curated set of content, so you find the exact piece that you want for your top conversation.
Who are your clients? Is it the platforms you're using, selling your API to make their platforms more engaging to the users, or is it the ones using the sponsored content as a platform for you?
It's kind of both. So it's a two-sided economy, essentially, where we have the platforms, so that's distribution, so getting reach and visibility. So that's like a Viber or a Skype or another messaging app. And they're adding it to add new ways for users to engage and express themselves and have fun. And on the other side, it's the content partners, so studios, advertisers who want to reach those audiences. And that's why it's really important to work with these big apps, because they have the big user base already. And then we haven't turned on a monetization flow yet, but essentially, if you're Starbucks and you want people seeing coffee video content at 10 in the morning, then that's how you can actually do that, and we can deliver that to them.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, now comes the moment of truth. The judges are voting, and we will tabulate the results. I want to take a quick poll. How many people out there are attending Web Summit for the first time? That's fantastic. So, what do you guys think so far? You're just getting started. Is this the best show on earth or what? Yeah? Yeah? Ever seen anything like this? This is a fantastic event. So you guys, you're looking at these companies and you're digging into them, because this is the best of what Web Summit's about, the startups, right? You have alpha, you have beta level startups here. And you're looking at the product, you're looking at the team, you're looking at the business, you're looking at the quality of the pitch you just saw, and the opportunity to disrupt. You guys, how do you guys feel in general about, we're just getting started today, but this is a great group of people, right? Great teams.
So we're like a sideshow compared to what's going on the main stage, where they have the 12 most in-demand startups. So if this is a sideshow, I'm very impressed.
Great, Peter.
Yeah.
I thought that the startups were great. Thank you very much for every one of you for coming up. I know it's often it can be a bit nerve-wracking to come up and pitch your business in front of everybody. So congratulations to everybody who came today. And thanks to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming, guys. Okay, so you guys nervous? This is like the most laid-back group of startups you've ever seen. 6 companies and not sweat on anybody. Nobody's worried about a thing. This guy's sleeping over here, so they're ready to go. And we're doing some complicated math in the background right now. We want to get the best outcome. And whoever wins this is going to be able to have bragging rights to be the pitch champion, right? You guys are excited about that. It's so great because we saw such a cross section, right? We saw customers that are doing, we saw Customerly, working with customer information. We saw the guys with Propertunity. We saw a lot of cool companies here. Vlipsy, I can't even say the name right the first time I try it, but really cool companies and really great technologies all over the place. Interesting stuff. All right, so we have Tabulator winner. Hey, you guys come on up. Come on up and we're going to make this dramatic. All right. So to make this dramatic, we got to have some sort of a countdown, right? We had a 10 countdown when we came on stage. I'm going to find out the secret information. Hold on. All right. There's the dramatic music. How about a countdown? Let's do a 3, 2, 1. Can you guys help me here? 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. The winner of the best pitch, the best business out here is Vlipsy. Paul. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, so as you guys know, these guys worked really hard to put together their heart and soul, right? When you're doing a startup, this is your heart and soul. They did a great job putting a presentation together. To do it in 180 seconds, it's a very unique challenge they've done, and Paul, triumphed in this. Guess what? We're doing this again in 5 minutes with brand new people. So stick around. And don't go too far. Thank you, judges. Thanks, Peter.
Great job.
Thank you, Janet.
So much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jonas.